With the recent release of Pokemon Legends ZA, shiny hunting is easier than ever. So now I'm making it my goal to complete a shiny living dex in Pokemon Legends ZA. But there's a problem. The legendaries in Pokemon Legends ZA are shiny locked, and the only place you can get them is in the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. But I don't want to take on the Dynamax adventures without the shiny charm, so in this video I'm trying to see how fast I can complete the Pokemon Sword and Shield Pokedex to obtain the shiny charm. Without further ado, let's get into it. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Starting us off, I picked Grookey in Sword and Scorbunny in Shield. I quickly beat Hop in both Sword and Shield, and I made my way down to Route 1 where I caught Squovit, Rookidee, Wooloo, Blipbug, Hoothoot, and Caterpie. I talked to Sonia, then I went down to Route 2 to catch Nickit, Choodle, Seedot, Yamper, and Zigzagoon, bringing our total Pokemon up to 13 so far. I met the Professor and I beat Hop again to get my Dynamax band. Once I got to the wild area, I transferred Scorbunny over to Pokemon Sword from Pokemon Shield, and I reset my Pokemon Shield file and I picked Sobble as my new starter. I made my way over to Motostoke where I met all the gym leaders and I beat Hop again on my way to Route 3. On Route 3 I caught Gossifleur, Vulpix, Trubbish, Pancham, Mudbray, Stunky, and Plank. After I caught Plank, our Scorbunny evolved into Raboot. Then I finished up the route by catching Machop, Tyrogue, and Roly-Poly, bringing our total Pokemon up to 24 so far. After catching Roly-Poly, Grookey evolved into Thwackey, and I caught 3 Lotads in Pokemon Shield because Lotad's a Pokemon Shield exclusive. Then I made my way over to the first Galar mine. While exploring the first Galar mine, I caught Diglett, Roggenrola, Timber, Woobat, and then I beat Bee, and I made my way over to Route 4. Once I beat the trainers in Route 4, I caught Galarian, Meowth, Electrike, Pikachu, Punkaboo, Milcery, and Cutiefly. I also caught a Joltik, and after catching Joltik, my Rookidee evolved into a Corvisquire. I beat the Grass-type gym and got my first gym badge, and I caught a Badoo and a Grubbin after, which I missed on previous routes. Next on Route 5, I caught Swirlix, Stuffle, Minccino, and Wobbuffet. After catching Wobbuffet, my Lotad evolved into a Lombre. Finishing up the route, I caught Applin, Dawdle, Drifloon, Esper, and Nuzleaf. Then I received a gift Toxel from the nursery on Route 5. I made my way back to the Galar mine to catch Cardhole and Drillbur, which I missed before. I beat up some Teton Yell Grunts to get the bike from the doctor. I beat Hop on the bridge, and after beating Hop, I caught an Eldegoss, and I made my way to Hulberry, where I beat Nessa, the Water-type gym. After beating the Water-type gym, Choodle evolved into Dreadnought, and I made my way to the second Galar mine. In the second Galar mine, I caught Scrappy, Binacle, Shellos, Corphish, Barboach, Stunfisk, Wimpod, Shuckle, and Noibat. After making my way out of the mine, I caught a Noctowl and a Sudowoodo. My Rock'n'Rolla evolved into a Boldore. Then I caught a Coughing, Impidimp, Pawniard, Hatena, and a Saw. Made my way back to Monostoke, where I took on the Fire-type gym and I caught a Litwick and a Sizzlipede. After I beat the gym, I made my way to Hammerlock, where I got the Tart Apple to evolve Applin into Flapple. After I evolved Applin, I made my way to Route 6, where I caught Dugtrio, Maractus, Heliolisk, Yamask, Silcobra, Durant, and Torkoal. After catching Torkoal, my Raboot evolved into a Cinderace. After that, I finished up the route by catching Skorupi, Hippopotas, Heatmore, and Duskull. My Thwackey evolved into a Rillaboom after that. I beat Hop again on my way to the Fighting Gym and obtained my 4th badge. After I beat the Fighting Gym, I made my way to the Glimwood Tangle where I caught Shiinotic, Hatchram, Phantom, and Passimian. I beat the 5th gym, the Fairy-type gym, and then I beat Hop on my way to Route 7. After beating Hop, my Corvisquire evolved into a Corviknight. After Corvisquire evolved, I caught Liepard, Feeble, Berserker, Galvantula, Shelmet, Carablast, Morpeko, Greedent from a Berry Tree, and Seismitoad and Meowstic to finish off Route 7. Once I got to Route 8, I caught Girder, Golett, Hippowdon, Rhydon, Bronzong, Sandaconda, Haunter, Drapion, Phalanx, Togedemaru, Rufflet, Solrock, and finally Cruskull to bring our total Pokemon up to 122. Next I caught Sneasel, Galarian Darumaka, Snom, Snowbird, Vanilla, Snorunt, and Delibird at the end of Route 8. Then I beat the 5th gym and Hop again before Morgrem evolved into Grimmsnarl. After Morgrem evolved, I caught Pelipper, Gastrodon, Marini, Cramorant, Pincurchin, Octillery, Kingler, Jellicent, and then I beat up some more Team Yell Grunts to get the Water Bike from the doctor. After I received the Water Bike, I caught Graplock, Mantine, Toxapex, Clobbopus, Binacle, Remoraid, and finally Dhelmise. After catching Dhelmise, I made my way down to the 7th gym where I battled Marini and then I got my 7th gym badge. And then I quickly went back to Hammerlock to defeat Rhydon and get my 8th and final gym badge. Now that we're reaching the end of the game, I took the train down to Route 9, this game's Victory Road, where I caught Cubchoo, Galarian Mr. Mime, Clang, Glalie, and Vanellops. Once I got down to Wydon, I quickly challenged the Champions League, where I defeated Marini, Hop, and then I made my way to the Rose Tower, where I defeated the Chairman's Secretary, and then I defeated Bede, Nessa, Bee, and Rhydon. Once I beat them, I made my way down to the Slumbering Wields where I caught Luna, Weezing, Orbeetle, and Wishcash. After that, I defeated the chairman in a battle and I caught Eternatus. Then I beat the champion Leon, beating the main story for the game in just under 13 hours with 159 Pokemon. Now that the main story has been dealt with, we have just under 250 Pokemon left to catch. And so now I transferred over my Sobble from my Shield file, because I need to level up my Sobble so I can easily sweep through Pokemon Shield so I can get the exclusives I need. At this point in the challenge, I didn't really have much of a plan, so I kinda just went to the wild area and went on a huge catching spree, catching anything I can find. I ended up catching Onix, Electrike, Ninjask, Timepole, Looper, Krabby, Purloin, Golurk, Vanillite, Bunnelby, Beware, Paliswine, Diggersby, Double, Garbodor, Steelix, Bronzor, Ghastly, and finally Duraludon. I headed across the bridge where I caught Snorlax, Elgyem, Linoon, Gallade, Goldeen, Quillfish, Pangoro, Cufant, Cradily, Dusknoir, Unfezant, Tranquil, Butterfree, Gloom, Vileplume, Elpatoad, Paparaja, Quagsire, and Colossal, bringing our total up to 200 Pokemon. Next, I made my way over to the Lake of Outrage, where I caught Bisharp, Klinklang, Hatterene, Avalugg, Bounsweet, Sigilith, Gyarados, Serena, Beartic, and Ditto. I also caught a Dracloak, but I forgot to record, and then I leveled it up and evolved it into a Dragapult. Then I went on to catch Araquanid, Golisopod, Rotom, Combee, Vespiquen, Mudstail, Arrokuda, Baltoy, Growlithe, Kommo-o, Braviary, Behigium, Gothitelle, Ninetales, Lampet, Flygon, Excadrill, and Noivern. Next, I went on an evolution streak evolving Inkay into Malamar, Lampet into Chandelure, Arrokuda into Barraskewda, Growlithe into Arcanine, Galarian Darumaka into Galarian Darmanitan, Sizzlipede into Centiskorch, Grubbin into Charjabug, Gloom into Blossom, Bounsweet into Steenie, Yamper into Bolthound, Electrike into Manectric, Lombre into Ludicolo, Nuzleaf into Shiftry, Doublade into Aegislash, Duskull into Dusclops, and finally Tyrogue into Hitmonlee. After that, I went back to catching Pokemon. I caught Haxorus, Frillish, Lantern, Dewpider, Lucario, Xatu, Vikavolt, Stuntank, Chinchino, Crawdaunt, and Abomasnow. Then I evolved my Golding into Seaking. I caught a Obstagoon, Machoke, Drifloon, Munchlax, Hitmontop, Cherubi, Milotic, Lapras, and an Oddish. Then I evolved some more Pokemon, evolving Axew into Fracture, as well as Snorra into Frostlass, Drizzle into Inteleon, and I caught a Gothorita and Clefairy. Next, I hatch a bunch of Pokemon, hatching a Trapinch, Honedge, Dreepy, Ralts, Gothita, Chinchou, Feebas, Morello, Jangmo-o, Sobble, and Ferroseed. After that, I went back to evolving and catching Pokemon. I caught a Gengar and evolved Cherubi. I caught an Espeon and evolved the Ralts. After that, I caught Bonsweed, Dwebble, Roselia, Roserade, Swinub, Musharna, Xatu, Nincada, Hawlucha, and Machamp, before evolving Kirlia into Gardevoir. I caught Shelder, Cloyster, Basculin, Conkeldurr, Ferroseed, Mawile, and Totem. After that, I did a couple more evolutions, evolving Trapinch into Vibrava, Piloswine into Mamoswine, Pikachu into Raichu, Clefairy into Clefable, and with that, we brought our total Pokemon up to 314. Finishing up some of the final catches in Sword, I caught Weavile, Stonejourner, Gigalith, Cottonee, Turtonator, Riolu, Sylveon, Espeon, Wishiwashi, Pukuluku, Female Salandit, and Zweilous, as well as Mimikyu. Next, I traded Galarian Meowth for Kantoian Meowth and Galarian Yamask for Unovian Yamask. And then I received Arctovish from Fossil Restoration and Type Null from the Rose Tower. Next, I got done all the evolutions I needed left for Pokemon Sword by evolving Eevee into Jolteon, Flareon, Glaceon, Leafeon, and Vaporeon. I evolved Cutiefly into Rabombi, Galarian Mr. Mime into Mr. Rhyme, Wailmer into Wailord, Nincada to Shedinja, Scraggy into Scrafty, Cottonee into Whimsicott, Yamask to Runerigus and Cofagrigus, Helios into Helioptile, Sinistea to Poltergeist, Milcery to Alcremie, Meowth to Persian, Salandit to Salazzle, Woobat to Swoobat, Tyrogue to Hitmonchan, Snom to Frostmoth, Type Null to Savali, Zweilous to Hydreigon, Farfetch to Surfetch, Charmander to Charmeleon, and finally Charmeleon to Charizard. Now I'm hatching all the eggs I have left for Pokemon Sword. I hatched Dino, Wynaut, Cleffa, Pichu, and Mime Jr. Now that we have every Pokemon in Pokemon Sword besides Zacian and the 3 missing fossils, it's time to move on to Pokemon Shield to quickly beat the game to get all the Pokemon Shield exclusives. I swept through the game quickly with my overleveled Inteleon, beating the Water, the Fire, the Ghost, the Fairy, the Ice, the Dark, and the Dragon Gym, moving on to catching Eternatus and beating the Pokemon Champion again. I quickly swept through the rest of the game catching Zamazenta, then I went to catch all the version exclusives. I caught Sock, Corsola, Sableye, Duosion, Toxicroak, Mandibuzz, Croagunk, Volibee, Ponyta, Lunastone, Solosis, Larvitar, Oranguru, Ice-Q, Sliggoo, and Drampa. Finishing up, I hatched a Goomy to send over to Pokemon Sword, and then I redeemed my remaining fossil Pokemon, Dracovish, Arctovish, and Dracozolt. I finished up with my remaining evolutions by evolving Corsola into Cursula, Applin into Appleton, Larvitar into Pupitar, then Tyranitar, Ponyta into Rapidash. Then I traded between my switches to evolve Swirlix into Slurpuff, Phantup into Trevenant, Spritzee into Aromatisse, Rhydon into Rhyperior, Carablast into a Scavalor, and Shelmet into a Cellor. And lastly, Pumpkaboo into Gourgeist, bringing our total Pokemon up to 399. The only thing left now was to defeat the post-game and catch Zacian. I quickly defeated the post-game and caught Zacian, bringing our total Pokemon up to 400. I headed down to the hotel by the ice gym and got the shiny charm. This challenge took me a total of 37 hours. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and tell me what you want to see next.